Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the... Hi, guys. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello. How's everybody tonight?
Good.
Great. I don't know why that song keep popping on. Okay.
Oh, wow.
That's our Ozzy Hilton introduction, relaxation.
Yeah.
And it really is relaxing. I really like this song.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
That introduction.
Yeah, I've been listening to her meditations, and they are awesome. My goodness.
Oh, wow. I got to check her meditations out. I forgot
I did like in a row on Saturday. Oof.
Oh, wow. Yeah, she has some good singing bowl music. So I know meditations have to be really good.
Yeah.
So that,
she's doing that singing bowl on one of them.
Huh?
I said she's using the singing bowl on one of the meditations.
Oh, okay. I gotta check her out.
I played one of her songs to go to sleep. Sometimes I play it because it's, her, just the tone, the vibration is very, very good,
Yeah, that's been my meditations that I've been doing, mainly just the singing bowls. And they're so relaxing because, sound healing, it really, really, really penetrates to your core. I mean, you can really feel it when you're listening to the different tones and I mean, you can feel, your energy moving. Like if you have any blockages, certain places, the music will definitely help relieve and alleviate some of those blockages. So it's really good to meditate to not just the crystal bowls, but to any type of music that you like to listen to help, alleviate issues and blockages.
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
It's true.
So tonight we have Mrs. Gwen Crawford on tonight, and I mean, her story is phenomenal because we all know that battling any type of cancer can be devastating, and especially when you hear the news or the diagnosis that you do have a disease, right then the seed is planted in your mind that, oh God, I'm going to die. So it's up to you as the person to decide if you want to live with the doctor's diagnosis or if you want to take your health into your own hands and actually make the necessary changes in your life emotionally, spiritually, physically, and mentally, and even in your diet in order to change that diagnosis and not vibrate to what it looks like. So I'm just honored that she's on our show, and I know that this can help so many people that are battling this disease because pancreatic cancer is the worst form of cancer. So for her to heal it, is definitely hope for people who think that it's a death sentence. So I just can't wait for her to share tonight her journey and how it's affected her on her journey, and just to give inspiration and hope to others that are listening or might have a loved one that's battling this disease.
Most definitely. Give honor to Miss Gwen Crawford tonight. So before we bring on the goddess, we're going to play a little bit of Shaka Khan. This is always a oldie but goodie through the fire because she came through the fire and is most definitely surviving. So sit back, relax, get your cup of tea, and we'll be right back.
All right.
Hello, and welcome back to the Goddess Suite.
Such an exciting show tonight.
Huh?
I said we have such an exciting show tonight.
Yes, we do. We would like to welcome Miss Crawford, whose passion and focus has been on health and a healthy lifestyle for the past 25 years. She is no stranger to the medical field. Gwen's medical history includes a Bachelor of Science Degree in Health Studies from Western Michigan University. Using naturopathic and holistic health approaches, she was able to write her second cookbook, The Crossover Diet, and this diet allows a person being able to remove harmful foods from their food choices and be able to substitute them with wholesome foods in their place. She believes that if you use these recipes, you will no longer have to go on a diet to lose weight. As we said earlier, Ms. Crawford overcame pancreatic cancer without chemotherapy or radiation. She took her health and destiny in her own hands. She was given 2 to 6 weeks to live by experts, but she proved them wrong, and it's been 6 years, and she's still here. And we would like to welcome Miss Gwen Crawford. Hello, and welcome to the Goddess Suite.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm happy to be here this evening, and I thank you for your introduction.
Oh, you are so welcome.
You know, this has been quite a journey, as we all realize that our life is a journey, but certainly being given the news that you only have 2 weeks to 6 months to live it changes things for you. And in 2008 was my diagnosis, which has been over 6 years ago now, and by the grace of God, I am still here. And, you know, this is such a journey, and sometimes when I'm talking to people, I say, no, let's just see, where should I get started with this to tell people how I overcame pancreatic cancer. Now, I said that I overcame pancreatic cancer. I still have challenges, and I still have struggles as of today. My first 3 years after my surgery was blissful. But as time went on and different things happened in my life, different challenges arose, different challenges for health arose, made a difference. And I'm still hanging in there, but I do have various challenges that have come up. It is my true desire to see if I can help others, because so many times when we get the C word, the cancer word, we feel hopeless. And I want to give hope to the hopeless.
Yes, that is so important. Hey, can you tell us about that day when you went to the doctor and you were diagnosed? Did you have any symptoms beforehand, or was it just a routine doctor's visit?
Well, actually, it started out on a holiday weekend, July 4th. My husband and I went to Chicago, which is about 3 hours from where I live. And we like Chicago, and we went and we did all kinds of things. We went to the different sites, and we foods, went to the fair that they were having there, which had booths with all different foods and different entertainment. This was a weekend that we enjoyed. Now, this was in July, the 4th of July. Now, when returning to Michigan from Illinois, I started to get some of the symptoms, where my stomach would be bothering me, food was not as tolerable, and I called my doctor and told him that I was having these symptoms, and he thought I had a gallbladder problem and suggested that I get an ultrasound. And this was toward the end of July. And so when I got the ultrasound, and he says, you do truly have a gallbladder problem. And we scheduled with the surgeons to have my gallbladder removed. And so in the meantime, I was still experiencing extreme discomfort. And when I say extreme discomfort, it was just like all of a sudden my body had changed, and it was like I was experiencing one day when I got up like my body was on fire. And so I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I said, my goodness.
Yeah, well, my doctor said to me, he said, and we have been, he has been my doctor for years, and he's my internist, and he said, let's go through another procedure prior to you having your gallbladder removed. He says, because you're so uncomfortable and you're having all of these problems. And so that's when another surgeon went in and found out I had a blockage. And this was a blockage, of course, in my pancreas. And my daughter and my husband and everything was there with me when I went in for this procedure. And so my daughter, being as aggressive as she is, she suggested that I have the CT scan, which they wanted to do, but they was going to schedule me further out in the week. She said, no, let's do this right now since we have this blockage. So anyway, I went to another facility. They did the CT scan right away, and the next day my surgeon that was going to do the gallbladder called me and told me that I had a tumor in my pancreas, and it was cancer.
Wow. And what were you feeling when you got that diagnosis?
I was just stunned. I mean, I was absolutely stunned because, as I said earlier, I've been, into health for a number of years, watched my diet. I did all the things that you do, you exercise, and I was I had a lifestyle that was not conducive to thinking that I had a problem like pancreatic cancer. However, later on, I did find out through research and through, of course, my many tests that I have that this could be genetic. And I found out that I was a person that actually hit every milestone there is as it related to having a genetic problem, because when you have a genetic problem, it's one of your parents has this gene, and it's passed on to one of one of the offsprings. And my brother had pancreatic cancer prior to me. Now, my journey was such that I wrote this in a book, and the book is entitled Heaven Has to Wait. And I tell about this story, and I tell about my brother, and I also tell about the foods that I ate, because I do think, and I really believe, that my diet made a difference, and it made a difference in me saving my own life. Mm-hmm. Because I wrote 2 cookbooks. One cookbook was called Delicious Recipe, and that was written several years ago. And then since then, I wrote a cookbook called The Crossover Diet. And this crossover diet tells of foods to cross over from wherever you are to a healthier diet. And so I followed my own advice. And, I'm here today. And it's certainly, I don't take it for granted. I think that it's been quite a blessing that I am still here today.
Yes, absolutely, Gwen, especially because pancreatic cancer is the most detrimental cancer to the body. So I'm just in awe and just grateful that you are still here with us to share your journey and what you've been through, because there's so many people who look at it as, oh my God, this is it for me. And, if you can't change your thinking and your mindset and not let the doctor pretty much have the final say over your life. You know, you will eventually just fade away. But I'm just so proud that you took a stand for yourself and your health and decided to change it for the better. And look at the results you got. I mean, this is amazing.
Oh, well, thank you. And I truly believe that. And it starts fully, you know, it's your consciousness, you know. And if you can really fine-tune what is happening with your life, you know, Dr. Ashcroft used to say all the time, which I thought was a great saying, and food is your medicine, and medicine is your food. And that is a true statement. I mean, it's a statement that many people use, but when he says that, I just latched on to that, and I believe that. And so after being diagnosed, I was able to get the surgery, which they call the Whipple surgery, and usually you have they give you up to 15 months, I guess, after the surgery. And so I said, after having the surgery, I said, you know, well, I've got to be proactive here. I've got to be proactive. I need to do some things that I know will help me to have a better life. Now, I did not know then, and I do not know now what tomorrow will bring as far as, you know, my lifespan is concerned. But I do know that I have been blessed to be here almost 7 years when they told me, you know, 2 weeks to 6 months.
Wow. Yeah, you definitely took your life in your own hands because 6 months, I mean, where was your mindset at when they gave you that number, that death sentence? Where was your mind state at?
You know, I thought about it, and I thought, I said, this is, you know, like I said, unbelievable for me. I said, well, I did all those things right, and I wasn't aware of the genetic component at that particular time. However, I thought, well, what can I do? The first thing that came to my mind is, what can I do to make a difference here? What can I do to change this so that I will improve the chances of survival? And so from that point on, that was my quest for life. To see what I could do. And so I used my own advice in using the crossover diet as saying, okay, now I'm crossing over to a healthier diet, which I was already crossed over. And we're all at different points in our lives, and I'm sure you know, you're so well aware of this, different points in our lives where our health is concerned. And I say that as far as our health is concerned as it relates to food. And so I said, well, I tell everybody else, I would do health workshops as well. I tell everybody else this, and I have to follow my own advice here. And I do take a lot of supplements. I take supplements which are, you know, food as well, which I believe helped a lot. And I believe in detoxing. I believe in all of the things that help you have a healthier body. And so this is what I did. From that moment that I was told 2 weeks, I thought, my gosh, 2 weeks to 6 months, this gives me very much time. But that's the way I approached it. And so far, so good.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful. Now, Gwen, what do you think is the spiritual cause of pancreatic cancer?
What do I think is a spiritual? Well, well, I don't know when you say spiritual. I feel I am a very spiritual person, and I think everything starts with your conscious mind, how you feel and how you believe and how strong your faith is. And
right. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. I want to make sure that I'm I'm zeroing in on what you are asking me.
Yes, I was okay. Say for instance, if you're someone, because I had this read, it's a document called Spiritual Nutrition. So they say a lot of times the underlying cause of disease begins in the emotional in the spirit. So say for instance, it's something like we don't use our voice. Like if we're going through something and we let somebody walk over us and we don't use our voice to speak out and stand up for ourselves, that it might cause thyroid problems or problems in the throat area.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Well, like I said, I believe it's, you deal with the conscious mind, and having a positive attitude is so very, very important. And limiting the stress in our lives is very important. In the book that I wrote, Heaven Has to Wait,
uh-huh.
I have a chapter on stress.
Okay.
And I can testify personally to the fact that stress made a difference in my whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
As I stated earlier, when I had the operation and after I came home, the first 3 years were really very, very good. I only took enzymes, to make up for the tumor that was in my pancreas, because your pancreas is an organ that not only regulates your sugar, it provides the enzymes to break down your foods. So after the first 3 years, the next year, the fourth year on that, stress made the difference. You're talking about spirituality and thinking positive, and I'll tell you a little bit about what happened without elaborating too much here. But the stress that I experienced was my grandson. I have a grandson, and he was I have two grandsons that were in an accident. I received a call, and they said, "Mom, you got to get to the hospital right away." That was one of my sons. And before I could get to the hospital or go to pick up my other son to go to the hospital, they told me that my grandson had died.
Oh,
and
no.
The stress of that, this was a beautiful person, and I tell it in my book. He was just exceptional. He was such an exceptional person in so many ways. And when they told me that stress took me back, I started to experience challenges and problems that I hadn't had before. And that's from the extreme stress that I was experiencing.
Wow. And so how were you able to move beyond that stressful period in your life? What did you do differently?
Well, I believe, it's important that we have meditation. Meditation, they say, a lot of times people tell you meditation, they tell you yoga, and they say that these things will help you. But, if you can change your consciousness to be thankful, be calm, and to get away from the heavy stress, and to do things, to meditate and or prayer, or many people use different means of religious or non-religious methods that help you calm you down. And like I said, I feel that I'm a very spiritual person, and I just, I did a lot of meditating and a lot of going back and, to my grassroots, and made it through.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful. And so during your meditation, do you really feel like that was like one of the strengths in helping you move forward and, just relieve you of a lot of stress that was going on around your grandson?
I think so. That helped me a lot. Time, they say time helps you in these situations. And I believe that too, that, as time went by and I was able to do some things, because I said, well, one of the things I always wanted to do for him, because he was the kind of person, he was, he tutored other students, and he was such an example. He didn't smoke. He didn't think. He didn't swear. He was so respectful. He was an exceptional person.
Right.
Because he was so exceptional, I said, I put a lot of my effort into setting up, I wanted to set up a foundation for him, and right now we're in the midst of doing a memorial fund where we have a memorial fund for him, so that some of the things that he wanted to accomplish, he could. And in the book, and he has a mission statement, and he talks about that. And so these things that he wanted to do that meant a lot to me as well helped me along too, because I said this is something I want to do for him. And so it became a goal of mine.
Wow, it seems like he was like an earth angel,
Oh, just so special. I know we all feel that our family members are special, and I'm sure they are. And but he was, to know him was just to know how special he really, really was. And I have a link on my website. You can see my story, and also the cookbook and the Heaven Has to Wait book. You can see it if you go to crossoverdiet.com, and you go under links, and you can see his story as well.
Okay. I'm on your website right now.
Okay. Now, if you go under where it has the links.
Okay.
And BJ's Memorial Tribute.
Okay.
And you click that, and it will bring up his.
Oh wow! Handsome.
Yes.
Wow. Wow! I just get chills looking at him. So I could just feel his spirit was definitely highly evolved, and that's why, you couldn't leave yet, because you had to continue this work for him. Many people have told me that God has something that He wants you to do. You're here, so you do it, no matter what the doctors say. Absolutely.
And I think my tribute to my grandson and setting up the foundation and helping other young people is one of the things that I'm here to do.
Absolutely, because, it's like he came, but you are reaching others. You're able to help other people as well. So it's just, it's just amazing that how all this came about. It's bittersweet, but it's definitely more sweet, because even though he's not here, he's still here working through you. You're doing something that is going to help a lot of people. So,
well, I certainly hope so. With his memorial tribute, and we're going to, like I said, eventually set up a foundation in his name. But right now we, do things to mentor students as he did, and to do things that will just really make a difference. Because I work for. I volunteered really for the public schools for over 7 years as well, many years ago. And that's what I did to help young people, because I think that is so important. We have to do that. We have to help and help especially the young people.
Absolutely. All right. Well, one thing I wanted to really get into as well with you is your cookbook, because I like to cook. And I see, you must like to cook, because you have 2 books on cooking. So where did your love and passion come for cooking? Was it when you were younger, or just something that evolved over the years?
Well, actually, I started cooking at a very, very young age, and just from my godmother, who really did most of the training with me as far as cooking. And the cookbook started, however, the first one was called Delicious Recipes. And the reason that was started is because I went to the doctor and he told me that I had to lower my cholesterol and blood pressure. And, of course, like I said, this is many, many years ago now. And I thought, okay, well, I need to change my diet. And in changing my diet, I started to change my recipes, family recipes and recipes that I had accumulated. And that's how Delicious Recipes was created. And then many years later, the crossover diet. I wrote that cookbook. And the crossover diet is almost like it sounds. It's crossing over to a healthier diet from wherever you are now. And it's the medium between a diet of foods that are detrimental to your health and a diet of foods that nourish your body and promote good health. So you can start wherever a person is. Someone says, well, I like my food and I like to taste good. I don't like bland food. All the things that people say when they don't, when they think of a healthy diet and think of carrots and celery. It doesn't have to be like, it doesn't have to be like that. And so that's how the crossover diet came about, crossing over and talking with Dr. Africa as well about gradually crossing over to better foods and a healthier diet.
Okay. And what is your absolute favorite meal to cook and eat?
My favorite meal to cook and eat. Now, that's a good question. I think that the most nutritious meal is actually a soup, and it's called navy bean soup or northern bean soup. You can make it with either bean. The reason I say this is because it comes out, you can do it a number of ways, and I have it in the cookbook. You can make it creamy, but you have everything in that you need to have nourish your body. I have celery and onions and green peppers in it and carrot. But you don't even know that they're there, because once you blend it, you no longer see those things, but they're all part of it.
Right.
And it's a very good soup, and it's like I said, it nourishes your body. You don't need anything else. You can have a bread that you can put with it, and maybe a salad or whatever. Makes a great meal. Makes an absolutely great meal, and definitely high in nutrition.
Oh, okay. It sounds good. And you said Navy or Great Northern?
Or Great Northern beans.
Okay. Now, in the crossover diet, what are some of the things that you believe we should eliminate out of our diet to keep certain cancers away?
Okay. One of the things that I state in the crossover diet, and in the crossover diet, the front portion of it, after the table of contents, is actually it gives you menu selections, but it talks about things that you need to do to get started on the crossover diet, things you need to eliminate, different foods, the value of the foods, what to stay away from. Now, in getting started on the crossover diet, now step one is eliminate when possible or greatly reduce the 5 whites from your diet.
Okay.
The white flour, the white processed sugar, the white salt, the white rice, and the white potatoes. And cow's milk is not recommended.
Cow's milk. Okay. Wow.
You know, the vegetable milks are much better.
Oh, I never heard that. You said vegetable milk?
Vegetable milk.
I never heard of that.
Well, when you think of it, then now you know soy is one of the things, and there's a lot of controversy over soy. But I think you have to use good judgment in anything that you do and use moderation. But they have soy milk. They have rice milk. There's almond milk. There's oat milk. There's all kinds of vegetable milks. And and it's better to use the vegetable milk than it is to use the cow's milk.
Wow. And do you think that cow's milk contributes to a lot of the problems of children and adults?
Oh, yes. And, 85% of non-white persons are lactose intolerant. And so, cow's milk causes a lot of problems for people that are lactose intolerant, too.
Wow, so they definitely need alternatives. And when you think about how a lot of kids were raised on cow's milk, and the mother got them off the Similac or the Enfamil, then they started giving them cow's milk, so that kind of makes you wonder, like, no wonder the kids are having a lot of issues and allergies as they grow up, and a lot of problems, from that cow's milk.
That's true. And, and it's just really knowing, what to eat and what not to eat and what, to consume in our bodies. Milk, being one of the staples, and we see that in the chart that, the chart that they have with, telling you the foods that you should eat. And they got the cow's milk in there, and that's what we look at, and that I think is okay. But when we realize that if we get away from some of these things that are detrimental to us, we have a healthier life and don't have some of the problems, disease-wise or otherwise, that we would have if we, intake some of these things that are not good for us.
Right. Wow. Now, what would you suggest, Gwen, like for people who can't buy organic fruits and vegetables, or it might not be near a place that sells them? What would you suggest they do with their vegetables and fruits in order to decrease the chemicals or pesticides that are on their fruits and vegetables?
Well, one of the things that I suggest is that you get a vegetable wash.
Okay.
And you can get it at any store. It doesn't have to be a health food store. Most stores will carry a vegetable wash. And what it does is it washes a lot of the pesticides from the fruits and vegetables before you intake them. Because, being healthy is expensive. And a lot of times, we go the less expensive route. But it's important to get the vegetables and the fruits, and know that we can wash some of this off. And if you get a good vegetable wash, it will do that. It will eliminate a lot of the pesticides and contaminants that fertilizers and all the other things that they use to preserve our foods have.
Okay. And also, can you talk about the importance of water?
Okay. We need the water, and it's so important that we drink enough water. Actually, if you get up in the morning, you drink 8 to 16 ounces. Sometimes it's even a little bit more than that. When you start out your day, it helps to flush your system, and it helps to flush out a lot of the toxins in your body. Okay. And I say in the morning when you get up to do it, because that's how it's a good way to start your day. Now, I suggest that people use either the steam, distill, pure, drinking water, or like the Smart Balance, the Smart Water. Are you familiar, with that?
Yes.
Okay. I suggest that people drink those because the tap water still has a lot, depending on where you live. It's more or less than some places, but it has a lot of contaminants in it still. And it's better if we can get water that is void of those things.
Yes.
And so drinking water, and you can, one of the things too with water is you can replace a lot of things that you do. Like if you're a heavy soda drinker, you can eliminate a lot of the soda that you drink, or the pop, or however you want to call it, by replacing it with water.
Yes. Yes. And what would you suggest for people who aren't water drinkers? Some people I hate water. You have any something that they could do maybe to make it a little bit more flavorful, but also still nutritious? Because it is I used to hear people say that. I'm like, how do you hate water? Some people just don't
it's a matter of getting used to just about anything. But one of the things you can do is you can put a little lemon juice in your water, which makes a difference, and it kind of changes the taste a little bit. Or I wouldn't suggest so much sweeteners in water, but if you felt that that's the only way that you're going to and take it, then maybe put a little agave or something in it, along with the lemon juice or some other kind of citrus fruit in it, and it just mix it and drink it, and you can drink that throughout the day.
Right, I guess make a little lemonade or
that's it. Right, like a lemonade, a healthy lemonade.
Right. Wow. Oh wow. Since you've been cooking and changing your diet and things like that, what are the overall health improvements that you've been feeling from that diet change?
What are the healthy foods?
Yes.
Well, I think you can really go by, if someone would say to me, pick out the vegetables that are the healthiest vegetables. Now, I do have a DVD that I did, and it talks about different vegetables and the benefits of each of them. But most of your vegetables, are healthy and good for you. And same way with your fruits. Now, I do have, when I say getting started on the crossover diet, when I said you eliminate the 5 whites, in step 2, I tell you that you reduce your intake of meat to 3 to 6 ounces a day. and then pick some days of the week where you don't eat any meat.
Okay.
And there are very good meat-free ideas, in the book. And use, olive oil is a well-known oil now that doesn't have the saturated fats in it,
Right.
So that's a good oil to use. And they have the sapphire oil. There are other oils in it, and I list that in the cookbook too. So you don't have to do too much research on it. I've done a lot myself, and you can put that together with your, preparing your different foods, and then steam your vegetables. It's good to steam them, but if you don't steam them, because you got to start somewhere. If you just put them in water to use things like olive oil, just put a little olive oil in them and a little bit of seasonings, and I suggest that you get the seasonings that help you. Like I use garlic and onion powder, and I have certain seasonings that I use, about 5 of them, and it works.
Wow. So I know I wanted to ask this question. Now, is fish considered meat?
Fish is not really considered meat, but now I eat fish, and I'll tell you why I eat fish. I have my partner who works with me, and we do health workshops. She's a vegan, and she does not eat anything. Like she said, anything that has parents. That's what she tells me. But the reason why I eat meats, and you have to be your own health advocate. You have to know your body and know what you can and cannot do. But I was, told that I have to have a certain amount of protein, and I know you can get protein from so many vegetables and so many other things, but that's why I eat fish. And then there are better fish. Some fish is not so good to eat, and it's better to eat. And so just fish that is the better fish to eat.
Okay, all right. So basically, maybe like have fish one day, chicken one day, and then the rest of the week maybe just do vegetables and fruits.
Well, you can. For instance, I prepared a meal today, and it was a meatless. It was a meatless meal, and just had the cabbage and steamed red skin potatoes with it, and I had some summer squash with sweet onion, and some sliced tomatoes, because heat kills a lot of enzymes in our food. So when we can add something raw to it, to our meals, that's always good. So, and you have sliced tomatoes, and you can make up a cornbread. And when you talk about flours, there are all kind of flour that you can use to cook with. There's spelt flour, there's oat flour. There's all kinds. Wheat, you have the wheat flour, but you don't have to use, you don't have to go the white flour route.
Okay. Now, what do you think about wheat flour? Because I've, read wheat isn't really all that great for you either.
No, it isn't. But you can, because I use spelt flour, and that that seems to be a real good one for me to use. Now, I'm not saying that I eliminated all wheat, but you have to use moderation with things, and wheat is one of them. I was looking, doing some research just recently, and it was talking about some of the things to eliminate. One was, it said orange juice. And you think, well, what's wrong with orange juice?
Right.
And this the concentrated sweetener in that we get so much when we drink, pure orange juice. And it was talking about wheat as well. The wheat, a lot of people
are allergic, I think. Yeah. I said I was reading that a lot of people are allergic to like wheat products.
They are. They don't tolerate it well, and and now they say gluten-free products and that kind of thing, and that's all related to wheat. So you have to use good judgment in that. And then when they talked about wheat, they were talking about the breakdown of wheat, the whole grain wheat versus the processed wheat.
Okay.
As well.
Okay.
Where you don't have you're not eating the whole grain anymore.
Wow, because they've processed. So also it's a difference.
Yeah, so processed. And orange juice, I've read orange juice is like equivalent to drinking a can of Coke.
What?
Yeah, because of how they over-process the orange juice. It's so over-processed. And so much sugar added that is equivalent to drinking a Coke in the morning.
And even if you go and you have orange juice that is more natural, that isn't as concentrated and doesn't have all the additives, you're still intaking a lot of natural. Even though it's natural, you're still intaking a lot of sugar. So you have to be very careful with that. And just like I said, it's all in knowing what to what to eat and what not to, and what to kind of stay away from. And they also say that a lot of times with soy as well. And so you have to be use that in moderation as well. I used to use a lot more soy, and I had it's in my book even, where now I stay away from a lot of that.
Oh, wow. Wow, I had no idea. Can of Coke, I'm about to pour that orange juice out.
I know, I just
much, and you can more of a natural one, that's not made from concentrate, and that's a natural orange juice. But you don't have to stop drinking it altogether.
Right. Oh, wow. Wow, you learn something new every day. Oh, wow.
Now, Gwen, have you ever used or drank the fruit-infused waters?
I don't so much. I haven't myself personally, but a lot of people say that they're very good. I don't, like I said, personally, I kind of stick to, when I find something I think it's good, I kind of stick to that.
Yeah, I think those fruit infused waters, they put some kind of artificial sweeteners in there. They never, it's a funny aftertaste when you drink them.
Yeah, and artificial.
Oh no, I'm talking the ones you make at home. Just putting the fruit in your water. Yeah,
no, the ones that you make at home.
Like
if you put, just like we were talking about drinking more water. If you take a natural lemon that you purchase and you squeeze a little lemon into the your water, and you put a little agave into it or whatever sweetener you're going to use, and make it at home, well, you don't have all those other things in it because you didn't put them in there.
Right.
So you're okay. But a lot of times when you're buying products, you really have to be careful and read the labels and be label watcher and see some of the that have been added.
Absolutely, and then sometimes they don't even put everything that's in it in the on the labels. I've come to realize,
Yeah, they don't have to.
I know it.
I
know it. You go along and something's okay for a long period of time, and then all of a sudden, it's detrimental to you.
Yeah.
You hear over the radio, over the TV that oh gosh, now this is just horrible for you, where it was okay a short time ago, and you have to rely on the labeling, and unfortunately, like you say, sometimes it doesn't even have all the things on the label that are harmful to you.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, it's so many different things and chemicals and food and, trying to eat healthy is, it is expensive, but it's it's just like, you really have to detox because you just don't know what you're getting, so you have to constantly cleanse your body out anyway, because the fruits, the vegetables, and everything else still has some to a certain degree something chemical in it or on it or something. So
yeah, that's very true. That's what you're saying is so true. So we, and we do different to help ourselves by detoxing and trying as the best we can to eat as healthy as we can and eliminating the things that we know are detrimental.
Absolutely. So I was wondering, how were you introduced to Dr. Africa in his teaching? He's we love him at the Goddess Queen. So I'm just curious, how did you get into his holistic practice?
Well, let's see, it's been more than 10 years ago now that my husband and I met Dr. Africa, and actually we met him through my son, who has been a vegetarian for many years. And we met him, and then, as time went on, we started to do things together, and his outlook on life as well as health, was certainly good and positive. And so anyway, we kind of, we got more into that, and he really helped me to raise the bar on a lot of things, a lot of where food and the diet is concerned.
Wow. I can only imagine.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we want him for the show.
Yeah.
I get late.
Wow. So have you been, after, we know you've been in good spirits the past 7 years. So have you, do you go to a regular doctor to get your checkups, or do you have a holistic doctor you go to?
Well, I have several doctors, to be honest with you. I have my internist, who has been my internist for many, many years, and he's been really great. He knows me very well. He knows a lot of things. He said, okay, she ain't going to take that. So he'll may come up with something else. So, and then I have an oncologist, and my oncologist does various tests that I have to take every so often to make sure that I'm on track here.
Okay.
And yes, I use the advice of like for Dr. Africa, the things that he has talked about, and another naturopathic doctor as well. So a combination of doctors I've used. And then, like I said, you have to be your own health advocate because, you know your body. You become to know your body better than anybody else. And so you have to make the decisions on yourself based on your knowledge and how things affect you on a personal level. I am a true believer of going the natural route. However, I say be your own health advocate because you got to use good judgment. Now, I never, for the first 5 years that I was diagnosed with the pancreatic cancer, I never used radiation or chemo or any, and I had very little medication. I used my supplements and my other things that I used. I never used that. And Not too long, about a year ago, I was told by my doctor, because I had an elevated tumor level, he said, I think your only chance is going to be if you take radiation and chemo. Well, I was real skeptical of that because, it just was not in my belief system. And Dr. Africa had always, he was certainly against that. And so anyway, I didn't take the chemo, but I tried the radiation. And I would not tell anybody, and I'm not a doctor, and I don't tell people what to do. I can only tell you my journey, and I hope that people can take from my journey something that will help them.
Okay.
And that was not a good decision.
Wow.
But, it was based on my thinking at the time and what my doctor told me at the time.
Mhm.
Well, we're working through it because that can cause you. People don't know what it can cause. I really, I had already completed the book that I had written, but I really like to put another chapter in there telling about times what some of the other things that can happen to you.
Oh wow! Because Gwen, I've read that 70s they polled doctors, and 75% of them said that if they came down or were diagnosed with cancer, that they would not take chemotherapy. So it's why are so many doctors pushing these other treatments, the radiation and whatnot on people when they won't even do it?
See, because that's the standardized method that you use to control the cancer. They say that you're going to use, and if you don't use these methods, or don't say them, you're in jeopardy of losing your license or having problems, because that's what they've standardized, the radiation and chemo. But radiation, and chemo, it kills the good cells the same as it does the bad.
It
cells,
sure does. It sure does.
A lot of the health people, they say, okay, I'm not going to use this because it's tearing down my immune system rather than, building it up. And your immune system is what, helps you to rebuild your body.
I'm telling you. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. So, it's just knowing. So when I like I said, I have been in the health business for a long time, but I'm not a doctor, and I don't proclaim to be, and I don't give people advice on what to do. I can just tell you my journey, and in hopes of telling you my journey and the things that have been beneficial to me, that maybe they will help someone else and keep someone from making a mistake. Now, you would think that when somebody's told you have pancreatic cancer, which is a 5% survival rate,
oh wow,
that you would rush out and get, take chemotherapy and radiation. Well, I decided not to. I said, I'm going to build my body up, and we're going to fight this through building up my immune system and building up my body and fighting the disease that way rather than the other way, where you're going to break your body down. And I can attest to, I think at this point in my life, you can almost ask me anything about any tests or any procedure that I've had and the effects that it's had on me. Now, everybody is different and they don't experience the same thing, but I can surely share with you what has happened with me. Now, I had one of the things, too, and I put this in my book as well, and it was talking about a gastrointestinal bleed, and that is the most interesting thing. We went through so many tests, but it was something very simple that got rid of it.
Really? It sounds
something so simple that got rid of it. Out of all the many tests and doctors that I saw. So when people ask me, I said, well, this is what I did. And so, you know, sometimes it's just simple things that make a big difference.
Yes. Wow, and that, could you kind of go into just a little bit of how the experience was, like, or what the process is of the radiation?
Well, I had radiation for a month, and the radiation really did not agree with me. It truly did not. And when I said did not, if my doctor was sitting here right now, the radiation oncologist, he knows it didn't, and I should have just stopped it. But we went through, he said, go through this procedure. And it wasn't very long each time I went to have the radiation treatments. It's only a few minutes that you're in there. But it, for me, you know, it was loss of appetite. The foods that I normally would eat and enjoy, I did not enjoy anymore. Loss of weight. I mean, I really, I think had of all, you know, with the different experiences and challenges you have through an illness, I think that was one of the negatives, one of the big negatives that I had. And I would never do it again.
Yes. And I'm glad that it rejected you, because you found alternative to you know, accepting that, you know. So I'm glad. I'm glad.
Well, you know, a lot of times, you know, we have to, you know, and I'm just being very honest with you with anything that you're asking me. You know, I could say something different, but you have to be honest, and that's the honest truth with it all. You know, and when someone tells you that this is your last chance, now this was in, let's see, I had that in 2013. I took it, and they told me it was your last chance, and then they checked the CT scan afterwards to see what difference it made. They didn't see any difference in the CT scan. So I could have, you know, but like I said, you make a decision based on where you are at that particular time, and really that wasn't the best decision. But and I could tell you, you know, go on and from there with some other things that I think that we are just not aware of that it causes.
Right. Exactly. And going through a CT scan, is that putting radiation on you as well?
You know, it is. But as I say, I believe, and this is my belief, that when we take our physicals, we go in to take our physicals, and we go every year, and they talk about the radiation from CT scans, and they don't want to give you CT scan. I think that is just that's not good. That's my own opinion, because you don't. It's not something that you're going to take on a regular basis. Most people, now I have taken a lot of them, but most people don't take them on a regular basis. But it finds the problem early. Right. And just like mammograms and colonoscopies have saved so many lives because they're part of the physicals now. And so should a CT scan be. Because if you take a CT scan, you would certainly discover if you had a tumor early, and you could that could possibly extend your life.
Absolutely.
So, I'm going to push for that because I think that's important. I think it's very important. I have two sisters, and I told my sisters when I found out I had the disease, I said, you need to go and have this done right away.
Right.
And make sure that you don't have it, especially if we're talking about genetics now.
Right. Oh, wow. Wow.
Mhm.
And spiritually, do you think that it could have been passed, like it could have been something generational? Meaning, you know how, somebody's mom might have breast cancer, and then it increases the children's chances of getting breast cancer. Do you think that's what happened?
Well, with breast cancer, for instance, if you have a mother or father, but if you have the mother and the grandmother or other people in your family that are that have it, you have a greater chance of getting it. And that's, and of course, with age, that makes increases the chances of it. With pancreatic cancer, I definitely believe and know now through research and through family experience that it made a difference because it's in the family. And unfortunately for us, as a African Americans, we're on the top of the list with just about everything. We get everything 3 or 4 times greater chance than most other races. And that's unfortunate, but that's a fact. And that's also true with pancreatic cancer.
Wow.
And see, when I told you my brother had it, obviously I didn't realize I had it at the time, but my brother, his lifestyle was such, he wasn't, he smoked at one time, and they say that's a factor in getting it, and drinking, alcohol is a factor. But see, I didn't drink and I didn't smoke, even though he did, and I still contracted it.
Right. Oh, wow. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure you heard about Patrick Swayze. He had it. Yeah, I remember, because Dirty Dancing was one of my favorite movies. So I was just, I followed his, journey, just seeing him battling it through the media and everything. And, and that's how I learned how serious it is, out of all the other cancers. And, but yeah, he was pretty healthy as well. And it's just seemed like it came to a shock to him as well that, he contracted it.
That's why I think it's a good idea, and I make this statement as well for Patrick Swayze and for others, especially people that are well known and people are looking at them and reading their stories and things. Wouldn't it have made a big difference if he had a CT scan as part of his physical earlier? It would have made a difference because they would have been able to detect it and maybe do something about it.
Absolutely.
Early, at an earlier stage. So I don't, I don't know all the answers to it, but I think that we just have to be pro health and try to stay on top of things the best that we can. And when we find out something that works, stick with it.
Yeah, and it's so good that you're talking about getting checked early and getting tested, because like you said, in our community, it's unheard of. But what do you think about people who go to extremes? Like, I don't know if you heard about Angelina Jolie. She went ahead and had her breast removed and her ovaries and things removed because she was determined that she could possibly have breast cancer and then cancer of the ovaries, even though she didn't come down with it, but she still just went ahead and removed everything just to prevent it altogether. Do you think that's like too extreme, or?
Well, it depends on a lot of, other factors, and it depends on her family history, and I think that was one of the reasons that she did it, family history. And like I said, a lot of times when you have a parent or an aunt or anyone that has had it, you have a greater chance of getting it. Now, I just happened to, when you're talking about breast care services, I worked in that field for quite some time and have seen, a lot of things and a lot of people that, have come through it, and a lot of people that have not. And with her history, I don't know, would I have made that decision? Perhaps so.
Yeah. But because I guess I was just like, wow, she, I guess, because the doctors, it's like they tell you one thing, but I just wish she didn't remove her whole uterus, because I just think it was just, maybe she should have stuck it out just to see if something would have happened, and then, like you did, just take your health in your own hands, because I don't know, I just think with celebrities, they have so much money, and you're like, wow, you don't have access, or nobody is telling you about alternative health.
Well, you do, a lot of them do now. But when you have something like that, where you have where it is genetic, you have to kind of sit down and weigh everything and make a decision based on it, because, like I said, the fact is that if you, with breast cancer and ovarian cancer and everything, that runs a lot of times in families, and it makes a difference. And her train of thought is, let me remove this so it won't be a problem for me.
Yeah.
And you think of it as, that's kind of sad, but for her it might have been her best, the best decision. I really can't say. Yeah.
I just wonder, like when people, the average person sees it, they don't jump too quick, to get those type of things done, because it's definitely evident that you can heal yourself and you're living proof, and there's a lot of people that are, living proof that,
that you can take alternative methods and really, and survive and make a difference in your life. That's so true too. That's true too. So I know that I have been blessed, and I say I have been blessed because with a 5% survival rate, and my doctor that did the surgery on me said to me when I went to see him just It's been less than a year now, but almost that. And I went to see him and talk to him. He says, I can't believe you're here. He said, I can't believe you're still living. And,
oh, my God.
He is, well, what can I say about him? I mean, he was a very positive thinker, I guess. And he just said, well, he said, you're still here. He said, most people don't survive. He says, I think you're my only living patient that had what you had and is still here today. And so there is a God.
Yes, indeed. And I just love people like you who defy the odds, and especially in the medical community when doctors, practicing doctors, actually see the miracle right there before them. You know, you can go back and be like, you gave me this diagnosis, but I didn't accept it.
That's true. Usually, yep. I didn't quite accept what you told me. But when I went into surgery, I said, and I said to the Almighty, I said, this is in your hands. If it'll be, it'll be, and if it won't, then I will come out of this. And of course, I came out of it. Wow. And I put that in the book. And what my whole thought process on writing this and telling my journey is so it'll help someone else, because I know so many people feel so hopeless and so feel that life is just no longer an option. I'm going to die. And it doesn't have to be that way. Because God gives us choices, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Your doctor should have you talk to those patients that he has, and you able to share your story with them with some type of support group. I think that would be beautiful.
Well, it's my certainly hope that I will be able to help someone else. And so as I talk about my book and talk about my journey, I'm hoping that it will do just that, help somebody else. That's my whole quest for life, to help somebody else.
And it is, because you're a busy lady. And you are absolutely helping others. On different journeys. Getting healthy with eating and with your cookbooks and your stories. So, people that encounter you, I'm pretty sure they're spreading the word, and you're doing your work. You're really doing your work, and that is just something to celebrate, because, like you said, there's so many people hopeless and think that there's no way out of the situation. And if you can change their thinking by sharing your story, you're giving them that little flame of hope, to be able to at least try to take their health to the next level. And that's just a beautiful thing.
And the whole thing is, while we're here, we know we were born and we're going to die at some point in our on this journey in life. But if we look at it and we say, and this is the way I look at it, to have the best quality of life while I'm here.
Exactly.
To have the best quality of life while I'm here, there's certain things I need to do.
Yeah.
And if I do those things, none of us know what tomorrow's going to bring.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
If we do certain things, we might have a happier tomorrow. Healthy tomorrow.
Right. Because we're, like you said, we're born and die. So every day we wake up is another day off our life,
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and the quality of it. And so when you're given some, some news like I have been given and many others have, you just have to take that and you have to take it and say, look at the full picture and see where you are and say, well, I want to do all I can to beat this. And so many people have gone through things and they have just overcome the odds.
Yes. And especially because of people like you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, wow. Well, we're at the bottom of the hour, Gwen, so we want you to give all your information, where people can reach you and contact you at, and your website.
Okay, the website is thecrossoverddiet.com, and it will take you into the website, and you will see, it talks about my journey with the pancreatic cancer. It talks about the cookbooks. It gives you tips and gives you also a video on preparing some of the recipes as well. So it's it's a website that I've had and built for some time, and then of course after I had the diagnosis with the pancreatic cancer and wrote the book, I added that to it as well. So if they go to crossoverddiet.com, and it's crossover diet is one continuous wording, and they will be able to see, go in and see, and if they want to order the cookbook, they certainly can, and it's on Amazon. Now, I'm just in the process now of putting Heaven Has to Wait on Amazon, so it will be on within the next couple of weeks, but it isn't on right now. But the cookbook is on Amazon, and it's so they can download that on Kindle if they would like, and you can order the hard copies of the cookbook or Heaven Has to Wait, and other tips and other things are on there as well that might be beneficial to those that go to it.
Okay, all right. And what we want to do too, Gwen, is apologize to our listeners because for some reason Blog Talk was not letting people call in. We were getting texts through Facebook that they're not letting them call through. And we had this problem before, so we apologize to you and as well as the callers because people had questions and we couldn't get them through on the line. So
I'm sorry.
Now, oh, I know. So right now they're listening to the show, but they're listening on the internet. So we, we just send our apologies because we don't know what happened, why Blog Talk is doing this to us. But hopefully we can have you back soon to talk about your newest book, Heaven Can't Wait. So. And we can talk about that again because I know a lot of people really, really wanted to talk to you. So, maybe we can schedule something in the near future where we can have you back on.
Oh, I would be happy to come back on again. And I thank you for having me. And like I said, those that want to go to the website, they can see, the book as well as the cookbook. So some of the questions that they may have maybe would be answered on the website.
All right. Well, we're so blessed to have you on our show and to give your story. And you're just a lovely person inside and out. And I just really think you have a beautiful voice. I don't know if you ever did it.
Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. It's really nice talking to you, when you email back and forth to someone and then you actually get a chance to talk to them and you feel like you really get to know a person better. Yeah. And it's so nice meeting you.
Oh, you too. Well, that was my sister, because there's three of us on the phone. So that's probably my sister.
Okay. 3 of you. Okay.
Yeah, but it's great talking to you, and we'll be meeting you soon in person, hopefully one day.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
All right. Well,
great.
Well, we give thanks from Miss Gwen Crawford tonight, and sharing her story with us. And make sure you check out her book, The Crossover Diet, and Cooking with Love. So check her out. Please support her. And if you have any questions or anything you might want to forward to her, send them to thegoddesssweet@gmail.com. And once again, we apologize to our listeners. We don't know what happened this time with the phone lines, but we will be having Miss Gwen back. She has a lot more to share. So we just thank everybody for listening, and we send out peace and love. And peace and love to you, Gwen, and thanks for coming on.
And thank you so very much. And it was my pleasure.
Oh, thank you. You have a blessed evening.
Thank you so much.
Evening.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.